looking for a really awesome and amazing graphic designer? How about an illustrator or a photographer? This is Rainey Roberts, and I wanted to tell you how you can get my designer, illustrator husband, Scotty Roberts, to work for you on your project. Do you have an awesome self-published book but no cover, or even worse, a cover that really sucks? Do you need a kick-ass logo for your company or some f***ing awesome graphic designs for your ads or website? Then get in touch with my husband for the best f***ing awesome kick-ass design and illustration. He knows his stuff, and he's been at this for more years than I've been alive. Go to ScottAllenRoberts.com. That's Scott with 2 T's, ALANROBERTS.com to take a look at his online portfolio of work, or call 651-468-8115. Now go out and kick some ass with some kick-ass graphic design.
Hire my dad, so he can take me to Disneyland.
You're listening to the Intrepid radio program with Scotty Roberts. Intelligent talk.
Hey folks, happy Wednesday evening. This is Scotty Roberts. You are listening to my program, of course, the Intrepid radio program, right here on the Odyssey Radio Network. That's ODYSY1.com. Come on over and see all the goodness that's Odyssey Radio. And while you're there, check out the schedule. See all the times that this show replays in its rebroadcasts throughout the day. And if you're watching right now on the live YouTube channel, of course, you know you're already here. But those catching this program elsewhere, my YouTube channel is youtube.com/Mr. Scotty Roberts. As is my usual problem, my mouth is moving faster than my brain. So welcome to the show tonight. If you're not a member of this channel over on YouTube, by the way, just click the join button down below, and you'll see 3 ways that you can become a member of this program. From really cheap, $2 a month, to $5 a month, to $15 a month. And there are perks that come with those. So check it out. And, of course, the show every night is no charge to anybody. So I'm appreciating the fact that you take your time to come here and join me here. Starship to Roberts, says Matt Finn. Good to see you, Master Finn. Glad to see you. Happy Thursday. Anyone from a very cold, damp England. There it is, says Helene. And Field Guy, if you're in there when we were talking, my phone died, so my apologies. And I want to welcome those of you I can see in the chat room already. We got Elder Barry, good to see you. Master Finn, of course. And we have Michelle Canham Free. 2 camels. She's a 2-hump tonight. And no entendre there. Helene Moody from England, good to see you. And who else we got so far? Doug Stack from Louisiana. Good to see you, brother. Glad you made it in tonight. And there's Field Guy. Good to see you. Good. I'm glad there's no worries. My phone's beeping and dinging off the hook. We've got apparently a huge storm brewing outside. I stuck my head out 2 minutes before the show came on. And to the north of us, we've got this huge wall cloud. And there's lightning everywhere. But off to the west of that is, you see the sunset and stuff like that. So our weather here generally comes out of the northwest from the Dakotas and Canada and blows down into us. And as Matt Finn said, you'll probably get this weather tomorrow. So whatever this storm is, if it just doesn't kill itself out. And so if we happen to just disappear all of a sudden, there were tornado warnings up until about 2 minutes ago. And now they've lifted the tornado warnings.
Oh, they haven't.
Yeah, they just lifted it.
No, because Amelia just got a notification.
Okay. So Amelia got a notification.
And
there you
so
go.
did Claire.
So did Claire. So I haven't seen anything. We've got the Weather Channel going out there and stuff. I haven't heard a thing. So they're not saying anything about it. I think we're okay. I haven't heard any local sirens or anything like that. So if this show happens to disappear somewhere midstream, it's because the power went out or something, which is usually something that happens around here, out here in the country, when we have a big storm. So welcome to the program. And you just let me know if you hear anything new. Just come and let me know. All right?
I'm going to sit in the office.
There you go. You can sit in the office. Don't interrupt. All right, my door is open. Hey, Barbie D, good to see you. Glad you made it in. Mandy Moo from Australia. Good to see you. I always like doing that. I don't do a good Australian accent. Crikey. But I certainly like trying. So there you go. Folks, let's start off with a little daily advice from the heart by the Dalai Lama. Now, you know, this show is not too sappy. So when I hear a title like that, it always gives me the shivers in the wrong way. But this is a book I picked up about 20 years ago, and there was some good stuff in here. And so I would generally just flip this open anywhere because he has daily advices that he gives. This is number 208 and 209. 208, the Dalai Lama, whether you agree with him politically or where he stands and who he supports and whatever, I think he has some great words of wisdom that he shares. He says, within the Tibetan community in exile, it is often those who have suffered the most who are the most joyful and the sturdiest emotionally. Having spent 20 years in prison in deplorable conditions, many individuals have told me that from the spiritual point of view, they had been the best years of their life. A monk from my monastery was cruelly tortured for years, so he would renounce his faith. When he escaped to India, I asked him if he had been afraid. He replied, quite genuinely, that his only fear had been losing compassion for his torturers. What do you think about that? When you believe something in your heart, it takes wild horses to change that belief, if they can change it at all. I think that that's a great point that he has just made here, is that when you believe something and it's pure and it's from your heart, these are the things we've been talking about in this series on Christo-Paganism, is why do you believe what you say you believe? Did you get told what to believe? Or is your belief from the heart? And when that belief is tested, it shows its true colors. The rubber meets the road. And have you ever been in a position where you've had to have your your religion tested, your belief tested, your faith tested? He goes on in his next point, the Dalai Lama. People in France, Germany, and Britain who lived through the Second World War and the difficult economic period immediately afterward are not thrown by minor worries. They're content with their lot because they've been through far worse. By contrast, those who did not live through the war and who live happily as in a kindergarten are prone to moaning and almost faint at the slightest difficulty. Happiness is there, but they don't recognize it. Happiness, contentment, not being pessimistic, the opposite of pessimistic, is what you put into something. It's recognizing it. Hang on one second. I'm going to walk away from this mic and camera and close my studio door as my children left it open, and all I hear is the TV out there. There we go. All right. You know me. You know this show by now. It's all about disseminating great information while being familially interrupted. So one of these days, we'll have a studio off premises. Then we don't have to worry about that so much. And you know what? I walk a fine line with that. It's not that I don't mind. I don't mind my kids walking in and saying hello. What I mind is the interruptions. My older daughter likes the attention, so likes to make a mischief on camera and on mic. So when you see that, and when you see me get a little irritated, that's why. So has nothing to do with just familial interruption. I got to take a drink. What did I see here? Something I wanted to put up. Oh, Matt Finn said, funny the irony with today's youth and their political ideas from not being content. Exactly. Well, it's like I say, we live, and I've said this many times, we live in a tech culture now. This newer generation, they're raised on tech that we didn't have when I was a kid. If we wanted to entertain ourselves, we hopped on our big bikes with the banana seats and the roll bars and the handlebars and went out to the woods, rode around the paths in the woods. We did stuff. My kids, if you didn't get them up off their butts some days, they would sit in here all day on a device. And so that's very different than what I was used to when I was a kid. Mandy says they're testing the waters with you, seeing what they can get away with while mama's away. Ain't that the truth? It's a good thing. I recognize that, and I work very hard to not allow that to happen. But I was just standing out talking to the next door neighbor. She and I were talking about a lot of the stuff we talk about on this show. And my children made their presence known and continually interrupted. And I know they're just vying for attention, seeing what they can get away with. It's like, now, go away, do the things I have told you to do, and let me have my conversation without interruption. So people forget to implement socialism. You must be subverted social topics. There you go. Barbie D, welcome to the show. Good to see you. Glad you managed in. Great you're here tonight. And who else we got going on? We've got only a handful of people showing up in the chat room, but that doesn't mean you're not out there. So, folks, if you want to come into the chat room, make yourself known, please do. Come on in. You're invited. Now, we left off last night. Oh, before I go into the topic tonight, I got this sitting here. I wanted to show this to you. Now, you know all of my Etsy page and all the designs I put up there. This one just came in. This is a tank top that I ordered for Rainey, and of the archaeology shirt. And so I wanted to show you how that actually looks. There it is. That just came in today's mail. You can't see the detail on this. The lights kind of wash it out. You don't see the subtle colors and things like that and the beveling, but there it is. So that's a tank top for Rainey. And so that gives you an idea what that looks like and what some of these things look like. So I just got this. Some of you have a bunch of the shirts and hoodies that we've done over there, and I appreciate that. But there you go. And thank you, Master Finn, for putting the link up in the chat room for the Etsy page. I appreciate that. And so, and by the way, the link is up there. I'll put it in once again. If you want to call into the show, here it is. There's the link. It's over in the chat room. You can click on that. You can come on. And if you've got something to talk about, either on the topic of the show tonight, or it's not that I don't like you calling in, but when I'm talking about sin and salvation, good and evil in the eyes of Christo-Paganism and blending of two faiths, and you want to call and talk to me about tires for a car, it's like, we can talk about that, but let's try to stay on topic a little bit. But you're welcome to call in, and I appreciate it once again that you're here. Now, we've been talking about this whole thing of really systematic theology according to Christianity, the tenets of faith. And I'm bringing up Christianity because overall I'm talking about the blending of two faiths that have traditionally been in opposition to each other. And I wanted to show you what Christianity says in its tenets of faith versus what paganism, how it would see that same tenet of faith. And we were talking last night. We started the topic of sin and salvation, good and evil. How is that viewed by Christianity? I said last night, as Christo-Pagans, if we believe that Jesus has come as an avatar of God, if we believe that the Mother Spirit, the Goddess, is always in us and with us, then we can be saved from fear and shame. We no longer need to fear being alone, for God is with us. In fact, is inseparable from us. We no longer need to be ashamed, for God will always offer us a chance to make the best out of our situation. Yes, there might be negative consequences for our actions, but in each and every choice, God will be with us. Now, this is the pagan point of view, luring us to the best possible outcome. And we have the free will to indulge our fear, to indulge our shame, but also the free will to make the right choice. We know it's the right choice if it leads to an increase of love for God, for ourselves, for others, trying to see God as God really is, or the Goddess, some would insist. And we know it's wrong choice if it leads to hate, if it leads to suffering, to fear, to shame. And in this theology, there's not just a hard and fast code to abide by. The spiritual practitioner must spend a lot of time cultivating their conscience and their connection to God if they're to make the best choices in any given situation. That's kind of where we left off last night. But there's more. But wait, there's more. Now hang on, I got Field Guy hanging in the wings here. Let's see what Field Guy has to add to the topic here tonight. What's up, Field Guy?
Nothing much. I don't know. Lately, I've been having like the ESP going on. I don't know what it is.
Yeah? Tell me about it.
It's just weird stuff. I don't know. It's like, I guess it's like Newton's law. Anything that can go wrong usually does go wrong.
Well, that's Murphy's law, but...
Oh, I knew it was something. I don't know.
Newton probably experienced it too.
Probably so. But
that's when the apple fell on his head.
True. Goddamn
apple.
Way, I want to say great tires that Doug Stack has.
Thank you. Oh, I forgot. I wasn't even thinking about that when I said that. Doug Stack, good to see you in the chat room tonight. You are nearing the end of your first month of business, I think, with your new place. So may you sell many tires. If you were up here, I'd be buying a set for my Suburban to get rid of the ones that are going bald.
Tires for everyone.
Yes.
Really.
So what did Doug Stack say? He said something about I have more FB friends on my business FB than my own. There you go. That's probably not a bad thing, Doug. True. So 1 month down, Doug says. So tell me about your ESP. Tell me about your premonitions. What are you getting, Field Guy?
I don't know. It's weird. I watch a lot of ghost stuff sometimes. I was watching a listening to a podcast yesterday on something, but I don't know. Sometimes I get these weird feelings like it's like, okay, I know what's going to happen. I know it's not going to. I don't know. It's just weird. I've been getting that a lot lately with the weather.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like today it rained, but it's just like the sun was out, completely out, and it's stormed. So I don't know. It was rain today.
It's storming right now. I don't know if you can hear the thunder. It's going on pretty well over here.
It's actually quiet right now by me.
Well, Louisiana, wet. What do you expect, you know?
Well, they had some kind of front that was stalled for like almost 2 months, and it finally it went into Florida, became a tropical storm, and poofed. But
well, I hope we get good rain here. We've been getting a couple of days of rain. You saw those pictures I put up of my yard. It was pure brown with a couple of shots of green. And so now it's kind of reversing a little bit. Hey, look who's in the chat room. It's Brianna Learman. That's my neighbor. That's not the neighbor I was talking to earlier on this side, but Brianna and John over there. It's blackout now. Yeah, it is. What is it? It's 9:22. It's usually sunset this time of year around here, but it's black outside now. She says, I can't see because my drapes are drawn in here. So
it's dark. I can tell.
What's Elderberry saying? Bree, that's rack. I'm not sure what you're getting at there. Oh, racist. Gotcha. That it's black outside right now.
Hell.
So, Brianna, it's good to have you in the chat room. I think this is the first time I've ever seen you in the chat room. You usually come storming in and invade the show, which you're welcome to do. You can show all your wisdom teeth or whatever it was they pulled out of there. So that would be fun. So anyway.
Sure.
So what else you got? So you got this ESP. You're getting what you feel like you're developing that, or that's something that's come along more recently. You're seeing stuff. What are you getting? What kind of stuff are you getting?
It's just sometimes I've had that for a while. It's just weird stuff. Sometimes it comes and it goes. I don't know. It's just like it's just weird. Like the show you had last night or the night before. I swear I'd heard it before somewhere, and I'm like, I know I didn't hear it because you're just doing it.
Yeah.
But it's like I was rambling on my YouTube about stuff, and then you were saying pretty much almost everything I was saying. I was like, maybe that's why it was weird. Like certain phrases. And I went back and I watched it, and I'm like, yeah, he said what I don't know. Maybe I was just tuning in. Maybe it's just I don't know.
A little you think a little deja vu?
Vujade, yeah.
Vujade.
The feeling that nothing has happened ever before.
Right. There it is.
So, like nothing ever does.
Wow, this has never happened before.
Exactly.
Vujade.
Yeah, I forgot
there
where
you
I
go.
heard that
Glitch
from.
in the Matrix, says Master Finn. A glitch in the Matrix.
Yes, a glitch in the Matrix. Yeah. That happened when I was streaming earlier. It kept crashing on me. And then Mr. Went across the hallway.
What's the latest thing you've gotten that you think is premonition?
I don't know. It's just like I'll be watching some YouTube stuff and I'll be like, well, they'll say something in a phrase, and I was like, I know I heard that before. It's not something that's like predicting.
Nothing really overt. It's just there.
Yeah, I need to start talking to A, B, C, and D, and whoever's out there, who doesn't charge an arm and a leg on what all that stuff means.
Matt Finn said he's been experiencing this kind of thing himself lately.
I think it's something to do with the atmosphere or something. It's, electrical. I was watching someone's podcast, and they said they got struck by lightning 3 times in a row.
Wow.
I've never got struck by lightning. I've had close calls, but I've never got officially struck by lightning. I've had a tree fall in front of me once as a kid, but I don't know. It's just weird. I get this.
I have a child coming in. Hold on.
I just need your phone.
You just need my phone? There it is. Keep it plugged in, please.
I have my phone.
Close the door, too. See? There you go. That's how it works in this studio. You just walk in.
SpaghettiOs again.
Walk in. I need SpaghettiOs.
Yeah, I need SpaghettiOs.
Oh, boy. Don't call me. Why not, Bree? Why don't you call in?
What's your number? Hello?
Bree, call in. Well, I'll talk to you. I'll dump Field Guy for you any day.
Sure.
Sorry, Field Guy.
Well.
So, all right. Pregnant pause. All right, I'm going to let you go, brother. I'm going to jump back into topic.
Okie dokie, sir.
But thanks. So if you get more stuff, let me know what you're getting. It'd be interesting to find out.
You'll be the first to know.
Right on. And again, sorry I cut out on you when we were talking. My phone died.
I thought
it took
my
me
phone
10 minutes
died.
to get it even up and running again.
I thought it was this junk.
No, he was mine. All right. Okay. See you later, man. All right, guys. That was Field Guy and talking about his premonitions. But let's kind of get back into this topic here. If we believe that, okay, let me back this up. Remember, I'm presenting religious dogma here, religious faith belief versus paganism. So I'm sorry, not religious, Christian belief systems versus paganism. And asking the question 2 weeks ago when we started this, asking the question, can those two things be merged? Can there be a merging of, especially when these are two things that have been diametrically opposed down through the ages? And you basically saw what happened in the first 2 centuries after the time of Christ, how that Christianity was one thing, but the literalist Orthodox Church took it over, and they killed everybody else that believed the old stuff unless they converted. And so I'm speaking about these tenets of faith as if I'm standing within Christianity to tell you what they are. And like I've said before too, I haven't thrown out the baby with the bathwater, but I want to know. I was talking about this with my other neighbor earlier tonight. I want to know things. I don't want to be told things. And I've said that a million times on this show. So if as Christians, we believe that Jesus saves us from being selfishly centered in ourselves, that's more the paganism side, that the salvation is about saving us from being selfishly centered in ourselves, saves us to a fullness of life wherein we see all things around us as a part of God. And if we know that we have a place in the life of God, and if we believe that we're saved through devotional relationship with Jesus and through our pursuit of our God nature, then we can do the best we can in a situation and then trust that God is bigger than we are. I'm able to use and able, it almost sounded like it said unable, and able to use our intentions to promote the best possible outcome given the variables. So remember, what I'm saying is we're trying to blend, looking at how it is to blend Christianity and paganism, not do away with one over the other. So forgiveness for ourselves and others comes out of the belief that God is bigger than we are and able to use our intentions to promote the best possible outcome given the variables. And forgiveness for us comes out of the belief that God is always working to bring out the best in everyone. Trust and love, not fear and shame, are hallmarks of this kind of life. How many of you in Christianity have experienced fear and shame, the inculcation into a way of seeing things, of believing, where all the gaps in the faith questions are plugged in with, well, just use your faith and trust us. But what about evil? This philosophy seems to handle individual actions or sin, but there's a larger category of evil that needs to be discussed. Humanity is able to think and act in groups in ways that are very different from the individual. And societies and cultures have an influence that's disproportionate to the individuals within them. Now, you can find individuals that have a certain belief. You'll find corporate groups that will seem to express a completely different form of that belief. So, in other words, evil is more than the sum of its parts. For example, American culture favors men over women. In general, I'm talking super generality there. Favors men over women. Families with children over single people. Cultural Christianity over any other religion, and so forth. These are basic stereotypes almost of the American West. And these are evils beyond the ability of any one person to totally change. An example of this is found in language. In English, maleness is the default when speaking generically about humanity. And I can make an attempt to correct that in my own work, but I can't change the entire English language. And the fact that for many people today, sexism is still not considered a real issue is a pervasive evil that warps society. Now, this is just one issue. This is just a singular issue. I'm not saying this is the issue that we need to focus on. It's an example. And so it's simply impossible for a person in our society not to be shaped in subtle ways by this cultural phenomenon. Even when a person works very hard individually to overcome sexism, there will always be layers in which sexist problems are not considered. Yes.
Sirens are going off.
I hear them. We're okay. We're okay. It's a thunderstorm. Sirens went off yesterday, too.
And this morning.
And this morning.
I'm scared I'm getting in your closet.
No, don't get in my closet. No. If you hadn't noticed, I'm on radio still.
I know.
Okay, so go out in the other room. If you hear something that sounds like a freight train coming toward the house, come and get me.
What's that?
Nothing. Never mind.
What's a freight train? Tell me.
A freight train, a train. Okay? A locomotive. Bye. Right. My 9-year-old is scared of storms. She's scared when it starts raining and gets dark. So she's going a little flipsy out there. Just sit and watch TV. You'll be fine. There's a little siren went off, but I think we're okay. So Brianna, sirens are going off, she says. There it is. They've stopped now. So I don't know what it is. Go step outside, take a peek, and we'll see what's going on. So in addition to somewhat subtle things like sexism in English, more blatant issues include things like access to food, clean water around the world. So whether it's a rebel group, a violent dictator, a fundamentalist religious leader, fanatics, or others, access to the basic necessities of life remain difficult or impossible for millions of people. And so is this symptomatic of a larger evil entity bent on the total destruction of the world, or is it merely lots of individuals laden with negative karma? Those are questions that actually get asked. Christo-Paganism suggests a third perspective, that corporate evils are neither external nor individual, but that they are the collective results of millions of tiny, poor choices made by individuals that have now created a deep hole from which it's hard to free ourselves. Each time a person lets something negative slide by without comment, they dig the hole a bit deeper. And each time a person joins with others to create a positive change, they fill it in a little bit. So evil in this view is made up of the collective failures of the human race to follow God's plan or a goddess's plan or a divine plan of some kind of growth in love. Christo-Paganism is a syncretic faith seeking to blend elements of two different religions into a meaningful new way for participants to explore the divine. And, that's always a dangerous thing for some people, especially if you are immured in your faith structure. It's dangerous to take that step outside. So one of the outdated notions from ancient Christianity that should be jettisoned is the idea of a god of evil. Satan, as described in the Bible, is part of God's court, not a god in and of himself. And as we've mentioned before, in the earliest chronological book in the Old Testament, the book of Job, Satan isn't even the name of the character. It calls him the Satan. In the Hebrew, there's an article before the name. The Satan came into the courts of heaven to accuse Job. It's like saying the sheriff came in, or whatever he might be. And so later contact with dualistic religions such as Zoroastrianism put God and Satan on equal footing, endlessly fighting for the souls of humanity. For some, perhaps this personalized face of evil might be useful, but for my own theology, I find it reduces the need to squarely address all too human evil that manifests in each of us through our cultural norms. And at the same time, it equates where do you find out anything about Satan or the devil or Lucifer? Through the pages of Scripture. And never in the pages of Scripture did it ever equate Satan with God. He was a created being, not an equal to. So none of us can overcome evil in its entirety, but every action we take either helps or hurts its growth. And in this view, our individual choices do matter, not necessarily in our lifetime, but in the eternal view of God. So instead of feeling negative about the immensity of evil, we should take solace in the greatness of God. Or the goddess. Instead of feeling that our actions cannot change things, we should see that every action counts, both for our personal growth and for the entire planet. And so this maintains the balance between individual and corporate actions, and it gives us purpose and meaning to our individual actions while still understanding that the individual is only one small part of the universal plan. So by constantly trying to align ourselves with infinite love, we each choose with every action to become more of what we are or less. Even the Apostle Paul, when he was writing in one of his epistles, he was trying to describe his human nature. And he said, I find that there's a war within myself. All the things that I want to do, I find that I don't do them. And all the things that I don't want to do, I find myself constantly doing. And he says, there is a war in my members that is constantly fighting with each other. And I think that's what we do as humans. We have to choose with every action to become more of what we want to be or less of. This process of becoming godlike, if you will, at least in love, is known in Christian theology as theosis or divination. Divinization. Divinization. Not the same as Yeah, I've got a grasp of my words tonight. Not the same as divination. Divinization. Divinization is what that means. And it makes far more sense for Christo-Pagan theology than an emphasis on personal salvation in some afterlife. Does that make you cringe because you were taught one thing over the other? I've got, what did Matt Finn say here? The one thing I've learned throughout the years is that for centuries, they used language and linguistics to warp religion and laws to fit into the narrative of the day. Isn't that the truth? We see that now in certain narratives and agenda in our country that aren't even religion. Helene says sexism is fundamentally a problem. If half the human race hates the other half, and as women create all life, then the whole BS needs to stop because it's not sacred feminine with sacred masculine. I would agree with that. To a certain extent. I don't think that there is a big hatred between the two. I think there is a disregard. Matt says, I consider a quiet life a peaceful one. There it is. What does Barbie D say? If sirens are going off during a storm, I'm not stepping anywhere. LOL. Yeah, really. I was thinking of taking just a minute break here and running something while I go take a peek out the doors and windows of my kids. So before we go any further, why don't we do just that? I'm going to cut out to a quick break. It'll be like the show opener. And we'll go from there. So sit tight. I'll be back in about 2 minutes.
Are you looking for a really awesome and amazing graphic designer? How about an illustrator or a photographer? This is Rainey Roberts, and I wanted to tell you how you can get my designer, illustrator husband, Scotty Roberts, to work for you on your project. Do you have an awesome self-published book but no cover, or even worse, a cover that really sucks? Do you need a kick-ass logo for your company or some f***ing awesome graphic designs for your ads or website? Then get in touch with my husband for the best f***ing awesome kick-ass design and illustration. He knows his stuff, and he's been at this for more years than I've been alive. Go to ScottAllenRoberts.com. That's Scott with 2 T's, ALANROBERTS.com to take a look at his online portfolio of work, or call 651-468-8115. Now go out and kick some ass with some kick-ass graphic design.
Hire my dad, so he can take me to Disneyland.
You're listening to the Intrepid radio program with Scotty Roberts. Intelligent Talk.
Hey folks, welcome back for that little brief weather break. Just went out to check things. It looks like a thunderstorm outside to me. It's not even raining very hard. It's just lightning and thunder and black clouds. So I think we're okay. Knock on wood. Now I hear rain. Now rain's coming down. So yeah, Bree, call in. Would love to talk to you. Just use that link. Here it is again. I'll put it into the chat room one more time. There's the link to call in. Tornado north of Star Prairie. Has it touched down, or was it just funnel clouds seen, Bree? That would be a good thing to know. Star Prairie is what? 5, 6, 7 miles from here, something like that. So it doesn't seem too bad outside right now. So it just seems like a storm. Not even a bad one yet. Hopefully, I think it's going from the northwest to the southeast, moving generally eastward, which is away from here. So we'll see what happens. Oh, look at this. Here's Bree. Hey, Bree.
Hello.
How you doing?
Good, how are you?
Good. So what's going on? How's the storm look out there?
I'm going out there right now.
Go out on your deck?
Oh, it's downpouring. Hang on. I don't know
I
if
thought
I
I
can
heard
turn
the
my
rain
camera.
pick up just now.
Oh.
Oh. Now, folks, this isn't going to affect most of you out there. This is just local
I can
to us.
barely hear you. Hang on.
Okay. There we go. Look at that lightning. Holy cow. Oh, you're in the garage. So that's my house that you see way across the street over there.
Oh, yeah, it's really windy out.
I can hear that now, too. So
Yeah.
you say a tornado touched down in Star Prairie or was seen in funnel clouds?
It was seen in Star Prairie. I'm looking at the Facebook news feed right now.
What's that say?
Let me pull it up really quick.
And by the way, I can see how you've got a little swelling going on in there.
Yeah.
Holy cats. Watch the lightning, says Matt Finn. Watch the lightning.
Hey, Google, turn on.
There's John. I hear John over there.
Yeah, he's turning on the deck lights right now.
Oh, right on.
Okay, it says tornado warning for central St. Croix County.
That's us.
And then
I know this is
capable of
scintillating,
producing
folks.
a tornado was
What's it
located over
capable
Star
of?
Prairie.
All right. That's good to know. I know this doesn't affect like Mandy over in Australia or Helene over in England or Doug down in Louisiana or where everybody else is from. Michelle Canham Free is close to us, relatively speaking. She's in Wisconsin. So, hey, Brianna, says Barbie D.
Hi.
So Bree and John are our good friends that live across the street from us. And what do you say here, Helene? The agenda is divide and conquer for everything. Hence, the battle of the sexes and feminism. Not healthy for so much hatred doesn't cancel misogyny. Well, there it is. There it is. And Michelle Cannon Free is wearing her badass necklace. Outstanding. All right.
I'm wearing my jammies.
I see that. Actually, I don't. I just see your sweatshirt.
Yeah, we gotta take that off.
Yeah, you do.
Not the sweatshirt.
I give a hearty thumbs up.
Oh, don't make me smile.
I did not quite hear what he said.
He said I'd show him my jammies, but they don't quite accept nudity on YouTube.
Oh, yes, the nude jammies.
Yeah.
Hold on 1 second. I have a worried daughter here. Yes.
The rain is blowing across the road.
I know. That's like what rain does when it blows hard. You're fine. It's just rain. All right.
John's going out front right now.
Okay. Well, we are nearing the end of this show. So I know that, this kind of thing, for those of you who are listening, watching this in archive later, not scintillating radio, but it's what's going on here right around the studio tonight. So what does Helene say? Thus, fighting hatred with hatred is akin to the quote about fighting peace is like... I lost it. I don't know where it went. Like having sex for virginity. Oh, wow. YouTube blocked that until one of my moderators cleared it. It's interesting because you talked about having sex, Elaine. Matt Finn says, it will be okay, Rowan, because you still have power.
Hi,
but
girls.
My phone shut off and it won't come back on. And it's not out of battery. It's not your phone, Rowan.
Okay, guys. I don't need that discussion in here while I'm doing a show. But we've talked about that at least 300 times before, right? All right. Just wanted to make sure. So if you're nervous, you can sit in here.
I want to go outside.
You want to go outside? I'll be done here in a few minutes, and then we'll go outside and take a look at it from the deck. All right.
I can hear the hail.
Is it hailing? It hailed earlier today, too. Really hard that it hurt.
Well, why did you look at it?
Yeah. Now that was like at noon today. Oh, big thunder. That was just thunder. It's just clouds bumping into each other. So, sorry, that's not as storybooky as it could be. That was angels farting. Or bowling. That's what we were told when I was a kid. So, YouTube blocks anything about sex, says Field Guy. So, Helene says safe dental recovery, Brianna.
Thank you. We're going to figure out what to do exactly next week. So,
well, good. Well, you know what? I'll be done here in a few minutes, and we'll talk after that.
Sounds good. Bye, everybody.
Calling in, Bree. Good to see you. Bye.
Good to see you, too.
All right. There we go. Oh, guess who's here now? Brianna's husband, John. Hey, John. Hey, you ran over here in the rain. What's it
I don't
like
recommend
outside?
going out there.
Is it Haley?
Yeah, as soon as I got out from underneath my little covering, it started hailing, so I just booked it.
Well, in a few minutes here, we'll step out on the deck. So, folks, since we've pretty much abandoned the topic for tonight, I think I'm going to wrap a little early only because of the storm and scared kids. They're going to keep coming in and out here. And what's it for you guys to sit here and watch us talk about the storm going over our head? So we're going to go look at that, take care of business, see what's going on. Brianna says, yeah, not for my coworker. Just text saying that she's in the bathroom with the kids. So she's probably a little afraid of what's going on outside. Yeah, Matt Finn, that's probably very true. I'm not going to say that out loud, though, for ears. So, but I think you're absolutely right. So, guys, here's what we're going to do. Rather than carry this out for another 7.5 minutes, I'm gonna boogie out of here. I'm gonna take care of business with my kids and stuff over here. We're gonna go see what this storm is gonna do. I know you're scared, so let's go hang out together. All right, guys. So you know what? That's the way it's gonna be for tonight. I appreciate your coming in, giving me your time, spending time here, and you know what? Hey, live long and prosper.
Are you looking for a really awesome and amazing graphic designer? How about an illustrator or a photographer? This is Rainey Roberts, and I wanted to tell you how you can get my designer, illustrator husband, Scotty Roberts, to work for you on your project. Do you have an awesome self-published book but no cover, or even worse, a cover that really sucks? Do you need a kick-ass logo for your company or some f***ing awesome graphic designs for your ads or website? Then get in touch with my husband for the best f***ing awesome kick-ass design and illustration. He knows his stuff, and he's been at this for more years than I've been alive. Go to ScottAllenRoberts.com. That's Scott with 2 T's, ALANROBERTS.com to take a look at his online portfolio of work, or call 651-468-8115. Now go out and kick some ass with some kick-ass graphic design.
Hire my dad, so he can take me to Disneyland.
You're listening to the Intrepid radio program with Scotty Roberts. Intelligent Talk.